Earlier today, President Biden spoke by phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and they discussed Israel's potential response to Iran for its October 1st ballistic missile attack. The discussion, of course, is coming as the Harris campaign continues a very calculated effort to target Jewish voters in the swing states. And ever since the October 7th terrorist attack on Israel last year, we've all watched the anti-Israel tactics coming from the left. Well, have swing state voters also taken notice of all of that? Well, joining me now to discuss this is Congressman Keith Self. He serves on the Foreign Affairs Committee as well as the Veterans Affairs Committee, and he represents the 3rd Congressional District of Texas. Congressman Self, always great to have you on Washington Watch. Welcome back.
Good to be with you, Jody. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to open up with a clip from White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. This came at today's White House press briefing. I'd like to play this clip and get your reaction.
I think what you have seen from this administration is the continued support for Israel's security. When Iran attacked Israel, the president directed his military to protect Israel. He was very proud to be able to do that, and that support continues.
Is this a shift of direction? This does not sound like the administration I've been watching for a long time in regard to Israel.
Well, that was a half-truth. Because we have protected Israel in the recent past. But remember, they delayed a shipment of very necessary weapons back in the springtime. Recently, President Biden tried to influence them in their attack against nuclear facilities. So they have been putting obstacles in the way of the Israelis ever since October 7th, a year ago. And I will tell you that this is only a half-truth, what she said. We need to be fully behind Israel. And yes, it is a shift in policy. Look, they've been pandering to the students with student loans. They're now pandering to the Jewish community. They've been pandering for years to the Muslim community in Michigan, for instance. So they will pander wherever they think they need to.
Yeah, and I mean, they've allowed anti-Israeli protests all over the country. They've not come out stopping that, really even speaking much against it at all. Vice President Harris comes out this week majorly questioning any alliance with the Prime Minister. I mean, and what you mentioned, even the delayed shipment of armament, my understanding still a good bit of that has not yet gone to Israel in spite of Congress appropriating those funds. It just is... I can't help, let me just put it on the line. I can't help but look at all of this and connect the dots personally that this is nothing but a political move, not a real foreign policy move, but a political one.
Absolutely. If we're going to stand in their way of doing what's in the interest of the Israeli people, then we are not doing our job of defending our best ally in the Middle East, the only democracy in the Middle East. I called upon the president to release all of the armaments that we have approved for Israel, as well as start enforcing the sanctions against Iran. 5 colleagues joined me in that letter, and we expect the administration to support Israel as the majority of the American people want the Biden-Harris administration to do.
Yeah, you mentioned it too a while ago that, you know, this whole thing looked as though they started out really trying to pander, I think was your words, to the Muslim voters in Michigan, elsewhere, and that evidently didn't work. So now it seems to be a plan B where Harris-Walz campaign in recent days is targeting Jewish voters in swing states. Your thoughts?
Well, that's exactly right. They realize there's a majority of the American people that want them to support Israel. They were pandering to one small community, one community in one state because they think they need Michigan. But they realized they were making a mistake with the majority of the American people who do support Israel and do want them to defend Israel, help defend Israel against Iran.
So are you seeing this, that really could be the issue? Have they lost Muslim voters in Michigan? And if so, why?
Well, I haven't seen the polling on it, so I don't know. But the anti-Israel vote, to include the Muslim voters, theoretically, in Michigan, they will watch this and they will say that they have shifted. I think they'll come to the same conclusion that you and I have, that they have flipped the script and they're now supporting Israel, and that may cost them some Muslim votes.
Yeah, I think it costs votes on both sides. But I mean, it all just flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. It all depends on like what's the polling saying right now, and based upon whatever that is, hey, let's jump in on the bandwagon and look like we're marching at the head of this parade. When in reality, that's not the case at all. I think it just costs votes on both sides because there's no compass. There appears to be no inner conviction whatsoever to stand for Israel, or as they have done, not stand for Israel, but just all based upon what is the current most popular position to have.
Well, I think we see that in issues well beyond Israel. People are realizing they have no core principles. They have no core beliefs. They have no core policies that they will enforce. They do what is exigent at the time. And we realize that now with the flip-flops on in many issues, or the lack of policy on many issues. The Biden-Harris campaign, now the Harris-Walz campaign, has no core foundation. And people are starting to realize that, Jody. This is only one issue that we see this coming to fruition.
Yeah, it looks like the only core value that they embrace with a tight grip with both hands is abortion. They are committed to the death of babies in the womb, and that is what they appear to be running on first and foremost. All these other things, it's just whichever way the wind is blowing, let's jump on board.
Yeah. Well, the other one is anti-Trump. I just encourage people to realize how dedicated they are to keeping Donald Trump out of office. Listen to what they say, take them at their word. That is the other principle on which they run. Good
point. Congressman Keith Self, it is always an honor to have you join us on Washington Watch. Thanks so much for all you do for our country and the great state of Texas. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you.